Hi, I'm Ryan Maloney. I'm actually the owner and proprietor of Julio's Liquors in Westboro, Massachusetts.
Randall Bird. I've been working in whiskey for probably close to 30 years.
Hey, I'm Steve Eulis, owner of Firefly BBQ.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to It's the Liquor Talk right here on WCRN AM 830, and we are broadcasting from Julio's Liquors on Route 9 in Westboro.
It's the Liquor Talking was just an idea that we had one day and said, wouldn't it be great if we actually did a show about education but have fun with it about liquor?
Yeah, and if you're joining us today, very special guest here on the show from Firefly's BBQ, Steve Eulis, and his fantastic pairing of barbecue and an amazing whiskey selection. Yeah, years ago I started kind of working with Ryan and kind of creating the Lock and Key Society, which is their big club here, working with them on that. And then over time we started doing the radio, and that started about 15 years ago. It's resulted over 600 podcasts, and we just keep going and rolling right along with it.
Well, gentlemen, it is a pleasure to be here with both of you.
Well, that's a lie.
All right, well, Ryan, I've known you for a long time. Randall,
Exactly.
too, so I guess, I guess that would be true. So I started competing in barbecue about 35 years ago, and I was in Memphis, Tennessee, and I then brought barbecue to New England. And this was back in 1991.
You're here to talk about, of course, your food and your restaurant, but you have been working on stuff recently, right? Well, it's changing a little bit.
Yeah, so, prior to COVID, we did a big renovation at Fireflies, and we decided that we really needed to up the game as far as whiskey. And I felt that if anyone knew whiskey in the area, it was my friend Ryan.
Throughout New England, you're very well known for your barbecue. You're very well known for putting on great events and stuff like that at Fireflies.
Steve and I have known each other for years, and we've been working together recently because he wanted to up his game in whiskey. It's such a hot commodity right now, and Fireflies does an unbelievable job at barbecue.
What other things can we do that no one else does that really can set us apart from everyone else? You walk into this store here, and there's things that are in no other liquor store. And I want my restaurant to be that special when you're pairing World Champion Barbecue with the best whiskeys in the world.
When Steve was originally talking about it, I thought he was talking about a singular event, like doing a big summer extravaganza, and then we would roll out one barrel. But that evolved or changed through our conversation to mean to me something that he could constantly be able to serve and participate in the creation of.
What I want is I want the barbecue to pair with the whiskey. So when you come in, you're like, let me have your barbecue and let me have your whiskey. I just want to kick it into the next level. Really make Fireflies known for having amazing whiskey selections that if you needed to have and taste stuff that was available, you would come to Fireflies.
Steve was like, I'd like to have some whiskey that would go exactly with my barbecue. How do we make that happen?
And there was really only one thing that I could think of that would allow that to happen, and I think Brian and I were on the same page.
Listen, Randall and I could go out and find you a barrel that will go with your barbecue. Mm-hmm. That is not a difficult thing. But I think what I would like to see is I have an idea, and I think Randall knows what I'm talking about. That may, because I want you involved with it, and I want it to be duplicated.
Right.
You can keep doing it.
I wanted something that was mine, something that was unique to Fireflies as my barbecue sauces and my rubs and my process and my sides and my technique. Okay, as long as we're not going to be taking a bottle of my barbecue sauce and thinning it out with whiskey and putting it in a bottle, right? I mean, we're not doing something crazy like that, right?
This is going to be something totally different that you probably wouldn't have thought about.
Okay.
But I think this is going to work really nice.
All right. I'm dying to hear this idea. The two of you, crazy scientists, right? Jekyll and Hyde. That's
Without
all
the
that I need.
scientist part, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Well, I think if we can pull this off, what we're looking at is a trip down to Maker's Mark. And Maker's Mark has a unique program which allows you to insert specific staves that you can control the recipe of. And if we could come up with something that really worked and that we liked at that discussion and tasting, then he could replicate that barrel over time instead of just having this one and done, one off barrel program.
Now, really, so what's actually happening?
Buckle up.
Now I'm scared.
You should be.
We set everything up. I called our good friends down at Maker's Mark, and here's what we're gonna do. Steve, you're gonna come down to Kentucky. We're gonna basically customize the barrel for you that we can replicate again and again. Randall's already got dreams in his head that we got racks of ribs that he's gonna be eating while we're picking bourbon. So he's in seventh heaven. But telling Steve what we're doing and how we're going about doing this, he just sort of went, okay. Because he's trusting me that we know what we're doing. He's a fool that way, but he'll find out it'll be good.
Welcome to Maker's Mark Distillery. Y'all, when you came down here, you got a chance to see it. This is the prettiest distillery in Kentucky. I think the only thing prettier than this distillery is the bourbon that we make here.
I've never toured a distillery. I've toured breweries, so a lot of similar process, you know, where the mash and the build and the smell, and you kind of get that whole feeling and you understand the process. But then when you actually live it there and you see the different phases in which the whiskey is created, it's pretty impressive. I was in awe. I mean, the Maker's Mark Distillery, the process, the thought, the care, the emphasis on quality and consistency, it's a brand that's unsurpassed. It really does deliver, and it's the only program in the country that does anything like this. I want some of that bourbon.
All right, it's almost time to taste.
Woo. Bring it on, baby.
I know.
You know, Randall, I don't know if it was a good idea you hanging on to that bourbon. Have you been? There's a little missing out of that. Have you been sipping the whole time?
Yes.
Ah, I knew it.
That's why you think I haven't been talking.
Y'all ready to taste?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bring it
Let's
on.
go.
Bring it on.
Yeah, so a quick recap of what we do on a barrel pick like today. And you can hear them knocking the barrels in the background because we are in the cellar here where we pick private select. But first thing you hit the ground running, we take you on a tour. But the tour is a little bit different than what you would normally get. We focus way more on how we drive flavor in the whiskey. Because the private select program is really about our customers and our best partners creating their own unique flavor profile of Maker's Mark.
But this is actually very important because it helped Steve, Ryan, and myself to try and get a framework for what we're dealing with. They're going to say things, talk about the process, things are going to get kind of triggered or opened in our mind to think about how we're going to taste and actually make the final product.
Today, we're making your taste vision of whiskey. So talk to me about what the goal is of this bourbon and the taste vision y'all have as a partnership.
So what we want to do specifically is we want to make sure that we are pairing this bourbon with my barbecue.
Okay.
We have our dry rubs and we have our sauces. There's, you know, similarities in the smoked meat that picks up the characteristics of, as does bourbon, the rubs, and then the finishing sauces. So we really want to kind of hone in our bourbon that complements my barbecue.
Okay. This is only the second time in my 5-year career with this program that they actually brought the barbecue sauce and want to pair it with the dry rubs that go on the meat so we could actually taste what we were trying to build this whiskey for, and that was really unique and fun. I really thought this was going to be another pick where they said we want to do this with barbecue, but when they pulled out all the sauces and the dry rubs, it made it a lot easier to build that taste vision. So I was really excited to see that and to see that these guys came equipped and prepared to hit a home run. Let's taste the whiskeys first, and if you don't mind, I'd love to taste that Memphis barbecue after we go through this.
Yeah.
So then I can get a mind frame of where y'all want to be.
I mean, I've tasted spirits over the years, but when you see how the process is and how they go through each one of the staves and what oven they use to create the char, and you understand the different woods, the different types of oak, you understand why and how those flavor profiles can be extracted from the wood.
70% of your flavor of a whiskey comes from the wood and all of the color. It goes in clear, almost like a vodka, and it comes out that rich brown or amber color that you see in the glass or in the bottle. After they assemble the barrel, they'll leave one end cap off and then roast the inside of the barrel. And you can do this to different levels. You can do a toast, which this barrel right here is, or you could do a char, which looks a little bit more like this, and it smudges off on your finger, almost like charcoal. That heat, that process will break up the chemical compounds in the wood, and those chemical compounds will create the flavor that you have. Rich vanillins or vanilla type flavors come out of the wood. Also caramel, butterscotch, toast, coconut. Those are typical to American oak and a bourbon style flavor that you get from charring the barrel.
We want the bourbon to be able to stand up to the barbecue, but not overpower the barbecue. We want it to be able to cut the fat. I wanted the whiskey to be able to hold up against the spice, the sweetness, the smoke.
You can't go crazy with this, but I think a lot of the majority needs to be that mocha.
We wanted to really get down to brass tacks. We wanted to get in the room. We wanted to do the tasting. We wanted to taste barbecue sauce. We wanted to figure this whole thing out.
Butterscotch, definitely. I definitely taste some undertones of chocolate, currant. I knew that those flavor profiles would work well with my barbecue sauce. I don't want it to be too sweet, but I don't want it to have too much spice.
All right, let's do it.
Could this be the one? Here we go.
Won't know until we taste it.
Damn, pretty good.
I'm looking at Randall. Randall's looking at me. We're both looking at Steve because we know we got this.
I think it tastes great. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Ryan and I quickly mentally decided on a stave combination. We did the first blush of it. At the time, I remember pushing back from the table and saying that we nailed it. Well, I think we're done. And the staff at Makers was kind of a little bit like, what? You can't be done. Like,
All right, guys. Well, we got you here, so we're not going to just do one. We're going to at least do three. If you compare it to one, it's a little flatter.
I think we may have gone too far.
so kind of actually to flesh out the exercise or just make sure that we were giving the broadest and best experience for Steve and the staff at Makers, we tried a bunch of different things, and everybody unanimously agreed that it circled back to the very first one, and we're kind of stunned by that.
Like, I don't know what we would take out or change that would put number one on steroids or elevate it anymore. This group had a vision. They sat down, which was actually really good. They sat down, they had a conversation with what the goal was for the whiskey. And from that, they all worked together to accomplish that goal. There were no attitudes, there were no egos, which a lot of times in these barrel picks, people want their recipe to be the one they pick. This was just about working together as a team to come up with the best recipe for the barbecue sauce and the rubs. And they really did knock it out of the park. I'm not just saying that.
We nailed it out of the park
That's the one.
with the first selection.
There you go. I'll drink to that.
Cheers.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Great job.
Well done.
Excellent.
You know, it was a little low and slow, but we're feeling a little better.
All right, we are 2 P2s, 146, 5 Mondiant, 2 spice. So you see that ring he's got over there, and you see the spacers on there?
Yep.
He's gonna slide that across each one, so that way, so you'll see right here, and then he's gonna move the spacer across. That way, all the stave can have full access to the makers.
And it's just like a tea bag. You're putting the tea bag in. The only real influence that this is going to have is those staves. For the next, 3 months?
9 weeks.
9 weeks.
2 months.
2 months.
This is it.
This is it.
This is it.
Pitmaster Prime, Firefly's barbecue.
So this was a pretty great day.
I think it was 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. It was like all fantastic stuff. Well, it's finally here. You know, we've waited a long time, and of course, you know, the anticipation of getting this
Can we
whiskey.
just try the whiskey?
Yeah, we can. Wait a minute, is this what we ordered?
Code 20152.
108.2 proof?
Little kick?
Woohoo! You a little excited about this?
Just a wee bit.
Well, let's get some glasses. Let's get this tasting.
Sounds good. Looks good.
There's only one thing after that.
Gentlemen.
Randall?
Wow, that smells really great. The caramels in that are just amazing in the nose. Yeah, you can actually taste like the mocha. There's like a little bit of chocolate.
That roasted French Mondiant.
I think that's what's really going to bring it home.
It's everything that we intended it to do. But the true test is going to be in the food, paired with the whiskey. Do you always come prepared with a frickin' kitchen napkin?
Let's eat.
I'm telling you, we nailed it.
The chocolate that comes out in the whiskey with your barbecue sauce is just harmonious.
Oh, incredible.
It's good.
I got it. I want to host an exclusive bourbon dinner here at Firefly's featuring Pitmaster Prime.
Perfect. I cannot wait for the bourbon dinner. This is going to be epic.
It's going to be unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, Randall, are you done yet?
No.
All right, can you lock up on your way out, please?
He's got like a hollow leg.
Where does he put all the food?
I don't know.
You see the size of him?
I think he's got something in his back pocket.
Yeah, crazy.